A frontal assault on the lies of the New World Order. It's Christian Coffins.
DarkDox, digest. DarkDox, digest. DarkDox, digest. DarkDox, digest.
Welcome to the April 10th, 2025, Thursday edition of the DarkDox Digest with your host, Christian Coffins.
DarkDox, digest. DarkDox, digest.
I got a video bintro today. Oh, geesh, I feel special. You never know what you're going to get here at DarkDox, and especially on a Thursday called Wake Up, you know? So if you like what we do, CASH.APP /DarkDox or thealexjonestour.com /DarkDox. We do this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I dig right into it. Open the display capture. To wake, to be woke, to be or remain awake, to remain awake on watch, especially over a corpse, to stay up late in revelry. Please subscribe to youtube.com /Sacred Owls. If you're on X, we are Sacred Owls Unite. Facebook.com Christian X Coffins. Rumble.com /DarkDox. BitChute.com /DarkDox. This got brought to us by the fantastic Data Battle Z. Jay Sixer and Purple Heart combat veteran Joe Biggs suspended on X. What are we doing here, guys? Hey, Elon, get in here. Doge 2. No. Bad. You do not ban Joe Biggs. He's an American patriot. See? Did that make the left happy? Are they going to screenshot that? Probably. Bring traffic to the sites. Earlier today, U.S. Army combat veteran and Purple Heart recipient Joe Biggs was suspended on X. Mr. Biggs served several years in federal prison after being convicted on charges related to January 6th, with President Trump securing his release with a presidential commutation a few months ago. Joe Biggs sentenced 17 years ago. Biggs simply walked inside the U.S. Capitol and receives a staggering 17-year prison sentence. While Biggs is known for his combative style on social media, during protests, and on broadcast interviews, no actual reason or violation of X's rules has been given following his suspension. According to former Proud Boys chairman and regular Biggs collaborator Enrique Tario, it still remains unclear what led to Biggs' suspension on X. So what's up with that? That's what I'd like to know. Update, no reason was given. So this is a developing story. Another inside DarkDox network developing story. You see, it's so funny. This is super ironic because this is from Emiko Frost, and she's been on the show over the years. A really interesting and amazing person. Her story is insane. And she's like, what is the DarkDox network? I'm like, you're part of the dark, like, it's whoever gives us intel and wants to be on the show and stuff. Like, That's how you become part of the DarkDox. It's not like you don't get like a card or like a decoder ring. It'd be cool if we did. If you start supporting the show and buying stuff from darkdox.me/shop and stuff, then we could have cool things like that. But she posted a link about her father from CIA.gov. Screenshot that. That's the link. But I'm not a paranormal team, but I have a viewing skill and other psychiatric psychic skills. My late father worked for the CIA and then claimed he was a foreign correspondent in Japan studying psychic phenomenon there. When I did some further research, she discovered he was part of a secret space program and Project Stargate. My ex-husband also worked for NSA in Fort Meade in Maryland, and that is where they run the Secret Space Program, or SSP. My late father, actor Robert Dunham, who you can go back in the DarkDox archive. We did a whole show on this guy, who appeared over 40 movies in the 1960s and 70s during the golden age of cinema. He was using that as a cover that he was a United States Marine Corps First Lieutenant Military Police. He went over to Japan right after the Korea War, ended up staying there for 22 years. He was actually a spook. He was running covert operations, and he was black ops as well. I've been doing podcasts about this since 2018. I'm a survivor of satanic ritual abuse. I'm a survivor. I am doing a podcast with Lisa Meiser on Tuesday. Cool. And she's done podcasts with me. Big ups to DarkDox. As well as Blog Talk Radio, BitChute, Revision Media, Eternal Affairs. That's where DarkDox Digest actually started as a radio, 30-minute radio show once a week. And it was just audio only. And that was crazy. Long time. Time flies. She's a target individual, and I know it's a little confusing to read right now, but yeah, it's a lot. Like, it's wild. And she was trafficked by like white supremacist neo-Nazis in the New York punk scene in the 1980s. Like, the photos are fantastic. What the fuck, but she's still kicking, she's still standing, and we love knowing Emiko Jade Frost. Right now she has a GoFundMe for her lupus warrior medical expenses. So, if you dig what she's doing, support her too. We're all family here at DarkDox. This guy's not part of my family. Let's watch.
Why are you playing?
Oh shit. I mean, that's just fucking wild, dude.
Why are you playing?
Wow. So what's the story on this? Let's find out. But I mean, that's like something straight out of like 28 years later, which I hear they're making. Drew Hernandez posted, "You see this out your window, what's your next move?" I need context. Where is this from? What am I looking at? Hillary Clinton spreads huge lie about House passed SAVE Act that will require proof of citizenship for voting. Twice failed presidential hopeful Hillary Clinton reacted to the SAVE Act passed by the House of Representatives on Thursday. The SAVE Act in the House of Representatives by a vote of 216 to 208, close. Only 4 Democrats, Ed Case, Henry Culler from Texas, Jared Golden from, Minnesota? And Marie Perez from Washington voted to secure elections from illegal voting. The bill championed by Republicans who won honest elections will mandate documentary proof of citizenship in federal elections. Yeah, I mean, you can get a driver's license. Anyone of any color or race or creed can go to the DMV and get a driver's license. But the Democrats. Remember, the Democrats are the racist ones. They're the fascists. They even have signs that they make for themselves while doing Roman salutes. It's wild. And we're gonna do a song about the Clinton murders. I've been working on it for years. I'm just kind of mulling it around and kicking it around. It's there's a lot of them, so it's a long song, you see. And there's more that keep getting added. Breaking Maha development. RFK teams up with head of EPA to review studies that remove toxic fluoride from our drinking water.
We're here today. EPA is here today to make an announcement that wouldn't be happening if not for Secretary Kennedy. So the current standard for EPA is 4 milligrams per liter of fluoride. And it was most recently reviewed July of 2024. But a lot has happened since July of 2024, including a national toxicology program report in August of 2024.
We're about to play the full historic clip with the head of the EPA, Lee Zeldin, and the head of the HHS, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., teaming up to go after poisonous fluoride that is supplementally added to the water since the late 1940s. All the major studies, government studies, lowered IQ, infertility, cancer, all sorts of other problems. They know exactly what they've been doing. We had the FDA come out 6 months ago and say, we've done studies. What's in the water lowers IQ massively. This is really happening. And they're also going after the additives that are in the food and working with the states as well. Now, yesterday I came out and said, look, Kennedy's reversing himself on the MMR shot, measles, mumps, rubella. He said on national TV he would never give it to his kids. It's the most linked vaccine to the explosion in autism. But he is also clearly positioning himself to have government studies, they already know what they're going to find, so that he can look like he's being open-minded when they bring forward the recommendations to massively restrict the so-called vaccines. Again, when I was a little kid, 3 vaccines. Now it's over 60 before a kid even hits 3 years old. So this is very, very exciting on the fluoride front. Again, a month ago, they put an order out that the thousands of food additives that they had a waiver from got to be taken out. That's happening right now. When we try to sell our food into Europe, it's not even food. They ban most of it because there's so many toxic chemicals in it. So overall, Kennedy's doing a great job. But with the FDA, even more than HHS, that is the agency that needs to go in and expose this and ban all this garbage. Also, atrazine needs to be banned for its gender-bending, cancer-causing properties that are on record as well. In allowable levels, it bends the gender of the majority of frogs, makes a bunch of them mutants, transgender. The males try to have sex with other males. Their populations plunge. So overall, I give Kennedy about a 95 right now. I'd put him at about 100 before. His slide on the measles shot, oh, yeah, go ahead and get it. Oh, yeah, it's a problem. 2 deaths this winter from it. Both the deaths, it was comorbidities. One person had 5, one had 3. That means they had a bunch of other diseases, cancer, and problems. But overall, this move on fluoride is so huge. Are we not vindicated with all the toxicologists and scientists I've had on for many years exposing it? This was done to stun the population, to dumb us down. Again, in the 20s, they put things into the salt, iodine, to raise IQs. They took it out in the 80s. They know what they're doing. This is social engineering. Iodine is the good halogen. Fluoride is the bad halogen. That is the reality. So here's the full press release video by the FDA head and the HHS head teaming up together. This is very, very exciting. That's why I am backing the Trump administration that much stronger on so many fronts. They're also trying to stop World War III with Iran right now. Iran has come to the table. This is really, really good because from my sources in the White House, we have been inches away from a massive attack on Iran for the last few months. And there is intense negotiations going on right now. I've talked to the folks that are running those negotiations with the Iranians and the Israelis. And right now we are on the bubble, whether it's going to be total war with Iran or whether it's not going to be. This is going to be much worse than even Ukraine. If it kicks off, I'll be talking about this, obviously in a big show I'm taping today with Tucker Carlson, so be sure to look for that drop. But here is the full exchange between Lee Zeldin and Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
We're here today, EPA is here today to make an announcement that wouldn't be happening if not for Secretary Kennedy. So the current standard for EPA is 4 milligrams per liter of fluoride. And it was most recently reviewed July of 2024. But a lot has happened since July of 2024, including a national toxicology program report in August of 2024. If you ask if any members of the media wanted to quiz Secretary Kennedy on every aspect of science that is out there on fluoride, he is ready for any question that you have for him. He's read all of the studies, he's memorized them, and he's fighting for them. So what EPA is going to do is go back and look at these studies that have come out since July of 2024, and we're prepared to act based on these science, both the National Toxicology Program study, as well as other peer-reviewed studies. If this is as important as it is to Secretary Kennedy, if it's as important as it is clearly to so many people who are here in this room at this press conference today, then it is top of the list for the Environmental Protection Agency.
It evolved when I read the science. I think I read it most carefully in the last couple of years, and the science evolved. The National Toxicity Program issued its report in August, and that report was devastating. And I don't think, I think we need to apply the precautionary principle in this country that we should do no harm. And it clearly is doing harm. I mean, the trade-off is IQ loss in kids, and what we can't afford that. In this country, we need all the brain power that we can to handle the challenges of the future. And then the other health impacts, which are less clearly documented in the science because they have not been completely well studied, but they are alarming enough so that we shouldn't be demanding that parents accept something for their children in their homes that is essentially a medication. They can go to the drugstore and they can get toothpaste. If you want to apply it in your home, you can. You can get mouthwash. And I believe, and I think it's a moral imperative that we all believe in freedom of choice in this country. It is one of the bedrock principles of our democracy. That the government shouldn't be making decisions, intimate decisions about our own lives. And, and then just the science is overwhelming on it. Now, it doesn't make any sense.
Ultimate Fish Oil is now available at InfoWarsStore.com after being sold out for more than 6 months. And we give it the name Ultimate like so many other products because
it's not a democracy. Oh, man. I was prepping some dinner there. I'm making stuffed shells. And, but I wanted to get that whole thing in the can here. It wasn't that long. I mean, what was that like?
Highest grade, the very best.
But yeah, fluoride in the water. It's poison. It's always been poison at thealexjonesstore.com/DarkDox. We get 10% when you use that. They have a very nice blue. I have one of them. It says there's poison in the water, fluoride, and we've been harping it. I used to make stickers and slap them on all of the baby water with added fluoride. Like, it's fucking insane. Like, for their teeth that they don't even have. Like, it's an IQ test. If you buy that for your child's, they think you deserve your child to be, again, lower IQ, lower sex drive, docile. It's a neurotoxin. Look up sodium fluoride and just click images. It's rat poison. It's the primary ingredient. But people are like, your teeth. The moment Weezer bassist Scott Schreiner's wife surrenders to cops after shooting her following dramatic LA manhunt. Here's the... I don't know anything about this other... So, Jillian Lauren, wife of Weezer bassist Scott Schreiner, is shot after pointing a gun at police. The fuck? Shit's wild. Say it ain't so. Too soon? Is that guts on his helmet? What the fuck? That shit's wild. Dramatic video captured the moment Weezer bassist Scott Schreiner's gun-wielding wife surrendered outside her Los Angeles home after being shot and wounded by cops when she allegedly inserted herself into a bizarre Hollywood-style chase. The saga involving author Jillian Schreiner, 51, erupted in the northeast Los Angeles neighborhood of Eagle Rock Wednesday afternoon as police were chasing down 3 men from an earlier hit and run on the nearby highway. Cops with Los Angeles Police Department said they were assisting California Highway Patrol officers in the hunt for the 3 perps who had just fled the scene of the wreck on Ventura Freeway when one of them was spotted running through a backyard. She was doing some vigilante shit. Huh. This is why I don't live in LA. Elon Musk's Doge discovered millions of taxpayer dollars wasted on unemployment claims for fake people.
Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency says taxpayers have been footing the bill for fake unemployment. It involved an age no living American has reached, claiming $59 million in benefits. And nearly 28,000 claims were filed for children. Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency says taxpayers have been footing the bill for fake people collecting unemployment, including claimants who haven't even been born yet. In a bombshell report released by Doge, the agency said it found that nearly 9,700 unemployment claims worth $69 million were filed under birth dates that won't occur for another 15 years. One case was so absurd, it involved a person listed as being born in the year 2154 who successfully claimed $41,000. The report also identified 24,500 people over the age of 115, an age no living American has reached, claiming $59 million in benefits. And nearly 28,000 claims were filed for children between ages 1 and 5, totaling a staggering $254 million. Musk blasted the findings in a series of posts on X, writing, "Your tax dollars were going to pay fraudulent unemployment claims for fake people born in the future." He added, "This is so crazy that I had to read it several times before it sank in." Doge was created by President Trump to slash government waste and expose fraud, and Musk, who leads the agency as an unpaid government employee, has been at the center of that effort. There was no sanity check for impossibly young or impossibly old people for unemployment insurance, Musk said. The latest findings come as the administration continues its broad crackdown on bureaucratic fraud and misuse of federal funds.
Yep. So, but there's no waste, fraud, or abuse. Doge, get back to work. Turbo cancer set to explode, John Bound report.
Why would you hold the data for 75 years, all of the clinical data, for 75 years from these if you were trying to be transparent? Tell me why. We don't give experimental products to pregnant women. We don't give experimental products to babies that have a death profile like this.
We got a colon biopsy from a group in Germany that we've been working with, and we were quite shocked by the results. This is a person who was vaccinated 4 times by Pfizer. 1 year since vaccination, tumors emerged. Person was dead within a month. We got 3 biopsies out of them, 1 postmortem. All of them have SV40 in the origin of replication, from the Pfizer vaccine.
SV40, or simian virus 40, reared its ugly head back in 1960 when scientists spotted it lurking in rhesus monkey kidney cell cultures that were being held to whip up polio vaccines. SV40, a tumor-making machine, has the large T antigen, a molecular wrecking ball that smashes into cellular control systems like P53 and retinoblastoma protein pathways, turning normal cells into rogue cancer factories. Fast forward to 2025, and messengers from a myriad of professions are shouting from the rooftops about SV40's presence in the COVID vaccines.
These vaccines are not vaccines. They are, in fact, gene therapy based. This genomic integration, as the scientific literature makes clear, can lead to cancer development, immune system disruption, and more. The sheer levels of contamination detected, up to 145 times permissible limit in some cases, are extraordinary and far beyond what should be allowed in any medicinal product. In my work as an oncologist in the UK, I started to see a disturbing trend as early as February 2022. Patients who had been cancer-free for many years were suddenly relapsing with aggressive explosive cancers shortly after receiving booster doses of the COVID-19 vaccine.
We have multiple studies now demonstrating a link between these COVID-19 shots and cancer. We have about over 10 case reports in the peer-reviewed literature where people get these shots and then all of a sudden they get these massive tumors in rare spots. Usually you don't see tumors in these spots. And so they get these so-called turbo cancers where they might have some cancer activity in their body before the shot, but it's largely checked. It's checked in place, and then you introduce these immune dysregulating genetic injections, and it kind of unchecks that balance, and then this cancer grows uncontrollably.
Turbo cancers, they're happening in pregnant women. They're happening in young kids, as I said, as young as 12 years old, but high school kids are coming down with these cancers. The turbo cancers, I'm seeing lymphomas, I'm seeing brain cancers, stage 4 brain cancers, and then breast cancers, colon cancers, lung cancers. The leukemias that are showing up in the COVID vaccinated individuals, they can kill in a matter of days or even hours.
Okay.
And yes, angiogenesis occurs in cancer anyway, but not to this rate. And I showed that by showing it's also occurring with lipomas, which are fatty tumors, which are benign. They're not malignant cancers. Those are also growing really fast, and something called granulation tissue, which occurs in wound repair.
These cancers, because of the dysregulation of the immune responses and the suppression of the immune system by these genetic-based injections and so many other mechanisms, these cancers that normally would be kept in check by the body are unexpectedly growing very quickly.
I have a friend who was in remission from cancer and had been doing great, and her doctor insisted that she got the shot, and like 3 weeks later, the cancer was back full-blown. She went to stage 4.
This report serves merely as a reminder that there is much more work to be done preparing for the potential acceleration of cancers in the very near future. John Bound reporting for InfoWars.
The 8th coin.
Yeah, I mean, I fucking told you so.
Is now exclusively available
Hate
at
to
the Alex
say
Jones
I
store.
told you so. All right. Oh, I see what keeps happening. The escape button is right next to the mute button on my. I've been like, that's been a mystery. Hindu extremists are preventing Christian converts in India from burying their dead. India's Supreme Court has failed to grant justice to the deceased relatives of terrorized Christians. We won't let you bury your dead in our land because you and your family left Hinduism to follow a foreign religion. Hindu supremacists are telling India's Dalits, untouchables, and tribal indigenous people who have converted to Christianity, welcome to the club, The reasoning of the militant Hindus is rooted in the ideology of Hindutva or Hindu ethnationalism. Ethnationalism? I like the ethnational. I like when those words meld well. Sounds horrible though. Your rotting corpse will contaminate the sacred soil of Mother India. That's some brown Nazi shit, in my opinion. Ooh. Your rotting corpse will contaminate the sacred soil of Mother India. No, what contaminates the sacred soil of Mother India is just like all the nasty people just shitting outside and pissing all over the place. And I mean, it's nasty in India. Like, I love Indian food. I love a lot of things about Indian culture. I really do. Like, I love Indian food's like up here with like, I don't know. I'd say Japanese food's my favorite. American Japanese food. Even Japanese, I like weird stuff. I digress. Ooh, that pissed me off. Pastor Subhash Baghel body was unceremoniously dumped in a hospital morgue for 3 weeks in the town of Jagdalpur in India's northern state of Chhattisgarh. Hindutva vigilantes wouldn't let him bury his father in a cemetery where his ancestors were laid to rest. You see, I would never do this or support doing this for anybody. I would be against you doing this to Jews. I would be against you doing this to Muslims even. But, you know, anybody, even Satanists and trans, you know, just everybody, you know, communists, socialists, leftists, like you have a godly right to bury your dead. And I think we should go back to families are responsible. You know, you bury your dead unless, you know, you want to cremate them or Viking funeral. However you want to deal with like the corpse, you know, just no necrophilia. Like, let's have that one rule. But like, if you want to taxidermy a loved one or like keep their skeleton, for example, like I have my old dog's skeleton, whole skeleton, frankly, but I have his skull on display, and it's awesome. Like, it's not macabre. Like, he's still here. It's his skull. Like, I don't know. Bones are awesome. So I'm sure that's going to be a hot take for some people. Let me know in the comments. Share this with all the people that also disagree with me, so I get trolls in the chat. Yeah, this is awful. Terrorized by Hindu mobs who were supported by the village authorities. Ramesh Baghel, the pastor's grief-stricken son, petitioned the high court. To his shock, the bench rejected his plea. The court ruled that entering the pasture in the village graveyard may cause unrest and disharmony amongst the public at large. That's democracy. Hey, Nazis, get in here. So that's what democracy looks like, where you have mob rule of a bunch of violent people that are total whack jobs and extremists, and being like, oh, we don't want to upset, you know, the masses. So, you know, like that's why we have checks and balances. That's why we have an electoral college. That's why we have 3 branches of government. And like, you know, we need to tone down with like this intelligence agency. And that's what we're trying to do with Cash Patel. And this is awful. You Indians, shame on you. Not all of you. It's awful. So, yeah, I wanted to post this because Alex Jones, I'm proud of you. He's just fucking crushing it. Look at this shit. Today's inspiration, Mr. Alex Jones. I can't fucking do that shit. I could maybe do like 2 or 3 of those. But it makes me want to get one of the, you know, I just don't have a door for to get one of those in my apartment. Attaboy. Good for you, man. And with that being said, if you like what we do, you can support us by going to thealexjonesstore.com/DarkDox. And when you use that URL, we get 10% of the profits off of whatever you order. And we greatly appreciate it. I got to tell you, I am a fan. I'm on day 2 of the Ultra Methylene Blue. And the recommended doses is 20 drops a day. I'm taking like 3 or 4, 1 drop per, like, I have a little thermos of water about that big. And so I'll fill that with water. And just like once it's full, I'll just drop 1 drop in there. And after about like 3 of them, I start to notice my tongue feels slightly like I'm licking a battery, like electrified. And then within 20 minutes of that, I'm just like hyper focused. It's not like jittery energy like I mean even the what is it called? It's here's my supplements currently. The Brain Force, that doesn't give me like drinking a bunch of coffee, but there is some like coffee bean extract in there. Yeah, neither of them I'd say are jittery at all, but this one is just, it's a whole other thing. I've never tried this, so I'm on meth, but it's methylene blue. And yeah, I'm just microdosing it. It's fantastic. I'm a fan. When it runs out, I'm going to get more. Like, I'm not kidding. And yeah, so if you're going to get anything though, I did order some of the Ultimate Burn, because frankly I work at a desk all day, then I come and do this at night, so you know I have very little time. I do my sit-ups, I do my push-ups, I walk as much as I can, you know. I like swimming, but like I don't have a lot of time, so if I can be efficient and burn you know, calories just, you know, like with a supplement, hell yeah, it's a thermogenic warfare in a capsule. Combines calorie burn and glucovantage, so you know, it's just pretty much beefing up your metabolic system. Yep. And biopurine HCI, and I mean, what makes me feel so comfortable getting anything from thealexjonesstore.com or infowarsstore.com. I've been getting supplements on and off from them for years, and now they're really being under attack. You know, they're taking the offensive, and they're suing. You know, we're gonna get into it right now. But Alex is crushing it. He's just on natural supplements, highest quality, and right now, if anything you buy, if you're a VIP member, it's 20x entries for every $1, and if you're not VIP, it's $1, 10x entries, and they're giving away a Jeep Rubicon and a murdered out 1776 car wrapped Cybertruck, plus $20,000 in cash. So holy shit, you know. It's a great time to support Alex Jones and DarkDox, and we would greatly appreciate it. You can also support us by going to darkdox.me/shop. And we got the usual, but it's all vital stuff. We have plenty of the projectors with a 1 terabyte micro SD card with over 100 documentaries, declassified federal documents, podcasts, audiobooks, and much more, as well as the thumb drives. Or you can get it in a nice, neat little MP4 player, and it's, you know, you don't have to connect to the internet. There's no updates. There's no downloads. You don't need Wi-Fi. You don't need Bluetooth. I think this one does actually have Bluetooth if you want to hook it up to speakers, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's just, yeah, it has the auxiliary 1/8 inch. That's even better though, honestly. I mean, I like Bluetooth, I use it for stuff, but it's like all these waves and frequencies. It's better if you just get yourself a 1/8 inch auxiliary cable and plug it into a speaker. You don't need waves going in every direction all the time. And oh, I need to connect and it has an HDMI slot for smartphones, tablets, laptops, PCs, Switch, Fire Stick TV, Google Chromecast, PS4, and Apple TV compatible. So this is a fantastic device. I have one of them. And yeah, so definitely check out DarkDox shop, because we also got buttons and stickers and t-shirts and movies and but we have comic books that have CDs that I made the music about the Bohemian Grove, Franklin cover-up, Boys Town, Nebraska, and all of that stuff. We made a film. We went to Bohemian Grove in Boys Town, Nebraska, and we did all kinds of investigations, and we're coming back this year with much more. So yeah, definitely support us, if you like what I do. Let's make him famous, everyone.
Nazi fucking punk.
What are you gonna do?
Go fuck yourself. You're on my fucking campus with that fucking hat on.
Actually,
get the fuck out of here.
It's actually a public street.
Get the fuck out of here. I don't care, you fucking Nazi.
This is a public
street. Get the fuck
street.
off my campus.
What's
I'm
your
gonna
name?
walk you all the way to this fucking corner, you punk. You fucking understand me?
Go ahead. Who are you?
You fucking understand me? It doesn't fucking matter. You fucking Nazi punk. Get this fucking camera out of my fucking face.
Or what?
Get this fucking camera out of my face.
Or what?
Take your fucking fascist
Would your
hat
union
off.
like that? Would your union like that?
You see this?
I know every...
There's a lot to unpack here, man. Holy shit. So first of all, this is what fascism looks like. When you're trying to silence people's speech, and this is domestic terrorism by definition from the FBI. We covered it past 3 episodes. Because it is using violence and intimidation in order to coerce somebody to change their political ideologies or religious or whatever. Like, this guy's just exercising his First Amendment. He has a hat on, whatever the hat says. It doesn't matter. The hat could have a swastika. It could have a Star of David. It could have a cross. It could say MAGA. It doesn't matter what the hat says. It could have a pentagram. I am a Christian named Christian with a bad religion tattoo. So there's a whole lot going on. It's very ironic. Yeah. But nevertheless, you have a First Amendment right to say whatever the hell you want. This guy is a domestic terrorist. He is engaging in domestic terrorism right now. And of course, they never want to be seen, because I always show my face. Because I'm proud of, I'm not like proud of myself, because pride's a sin, but I'm proud of what I stand for. I'm proud of you guys. Holistic Empire, Astrid, Data Battle Z, coming in every day, But yeah, this is a Nazi. These are what Nazis look like. Let's continue.
Every union guy in this town.
Get the fuck out of here. You
I know.
Fucking supports unions, you fucking
I know
cocksucker.
every union.
Nice
What
mustache,
are you, fucking
by the way.
Snapchat? What are you, 35, you fucking cocksucker?
I'm 35.
Take that fucking hat off. You understand me?
Uh-huh.
Take it off.
No, that's sexual
Take it
assault.
off, you Nazi fucking bootlicker.
Oh,
Nazi fucking bootlicker.
Oh,
Don't be on my fucking campus with that
Okay.
Nazi fucking hat on. You fucking understand me, you cocksucker?
I'm loving this.
Look at
This
this
is
fucking
great.
Nazi. 47. This guy supports Trump.
So this
has
is
his
assault.
fucking hat on. Look at this.
I can't
fucking
wait till
Nazi
you form it.
cocksucker.
This is what they did
Get
to
the
me at
fuck
the
outta
Hands
here.
Off protest.
I can't wait.
You think they support you here? Get the fuck out of here, you cocksucker.
He's
You're a
bumping into
fucking
him now.
Nazi
That's
punk.
battery.
I'm a
Nazi fucking punk.
Arrest
Yeah,
this
you're a
guy.
fucking Nazi punk. Is what
Okay.
you are. Take
Okay.
your gay fucking white gold Trump hat off.
No, he's
a
a homophobe.
fucking loser, and you're a fucking Nazi punk.
Are you
Fuck
noticing
you.
a trend here?
Boo this cocksucker.
Go
Boo
ahead.
him. Boo. Boo. This guy's a Trump supporter. Boo. This guy's a huge fucking Nazi. Boo.
He just has a white
You know
hat
what
with
you want on
a
fucking
gold
campus or on fucking
47.
city? You understand me,
Keep
you
it
prick?
classy.
It just says
You fucking understand me,
47.
you prick?
Keep it classy.
I am classy, you
Keep it
motherfucker. I back
classy.
up my community. You see this shit right here?
Oh.
Say no to ICE on campus. Get
I
the
love
fuck outta
I
here.
love ICE. I agree to deport
Get
all
the
of
fuck
them.
out of here. You understand me?
Yep.
Walk.
This is great
Walk,
content.
motherfucker. Walk.
And the guy's
This is
clearly
Fuck out of
Hispanic.
here.
This is good.
Or
Nice.
some kind of ethnic. He's not a white guy.
Oh, okay.
Not with those eyebrows. Swarthy.
Nazi fucking punk.
good for
What are you gonna do?
man.
Go
And,
fuck yourself.
That takes a lot of, that takes a lot of, self-control. And I'm trying to, I think I've done a pretty good job. Like, I've never, that's the thing, is because I respect the law, but you want to swing on them. And they want you to swing on them. You can't. You know, and until they have to hit first. And once they hit, then it's on. But knock them out real quick and just keep moving. Because fuck that. Senator Schumer refuses to criticize attacks on Tesla stores, employees, and customers, but willingly criticizes Musk for cutting waste, fraud, and abuse in government.
Senator, what's your opinion of the violence against Tesla, their products? What are your thoughts on that? Do you denounce the violence against Tesla products and dealerships and cars in the streets?
I can't talk about Tesla, but Elon Musk is a disaster for America, and America knows it. Look at Wisconsin.
Why can't he talk about Tesla? Disgusting. He supports terrorism. He's an accomplice. Aiding and abetting, arrest him. All right. Guy walks around like an NPC. What the fuck? Weird. Let's see that again. That shit's crazy. Like, which one's the robot? Veterans boo stolen Vower coward Governor Tim Walz at Minnesota Capitol. This guy was almost our vice president. Isn't that fucked up? Did they fix the thing where...
Welcome to the Capitol. It's great that you're here. Sir, you're welcome to come. Let me finish. Let me finish. Oh, hey, there's some passion in the real.
Wow. I like JD Vance better. Holy shit.
He's back again to wage a public war of words against Tim Walz.
He abandoned us, you know. I mean, what the hell kind of leader does that? I mean, he just, as soon as the shots were fired in Iraq, he turned and ran the other way and hung his hat up and quit.
We'll get to Barron's new message for voters in a moment. But this all starts years earlier when Barron says Walz's misleading statements about his military service first led him to come forward in the fall of 2018.
So you try to get this message out, but Minnesota's largest newspaper checks it out, says it's 100% true, but yet refuses to print.
When I hung the phone up, I said, what the hell is this, North Korea?
Back in 2005, a warning order went out to the 1st Battalion, 125th Field Artillery to mobilize for a mission to Iraq. At the time, Walz served as the unit's highest non-commissioned officer, but months later, Walz would retire from the Guard, avoid the deployment, and run for Congress. Tom Behrens was next in line for the position and was asked to take his place.
I was like, well, for Pete's sake, if this guy quit, and if I say I'm not going to do it, I mean, what the hell kind of leadership is that? If a company would say that we're going to deploy to Iraq or somewhere and you're going to be gone for whatever amount of time, and then the foreman just says, no, I'm not going. I mean, what does that say to the 500 people that work in that factory?
Behrens would go on to serve in Iraq on a nearly 2-year deployment as a command sergeant major. All while Walz began using that title as a congressman. Yep. Behrens says he first contacted Walz with his concerns, sending these letters to Washington. They all went unanswered.
But then we fast forward to the election in 2018 in Minnesota, and you try at that time to get people's attention with this story and also with what seems to be a very misleading statement that he continued to make about his service.
It kind of just sat there, you know, when he was a congressman, he bragged that he was a retired command sergeant major. I'm the highest ranking person ever in the House, and, you know, all this lie that he was telling.
So yeah, it's a whole 5-minute video. Link in description. Yep, got it. And got it. Unearthed video from 2009 shows military veterans confronting Tim Walz staff over stolen valor. This has been going on for a long time.
My name is Dave Thule. This is Travis Quinlan. We're both constituents and Iraq war vets. We're hoping to talk to someone about a photograph I have of Congressman Walz.
Okay.
Not sure if you have ever seen this picture before?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, in it depicts 2004 Afghanistan veteran.
Right.
Congressman Walz is not an Afghanistan war veteran, is he?
He served in Italy and part of Operation Enduring Freedom.
Okay, but he didn't serve in Afghanistan, did he?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Hi, Rick. I'm Dave Thule. How you doing? Nice to meet you. There's a young lady in the other office that was helping us, but if you can, we're. You guys want to come in and have a seat? Sure. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, have a seat. In this picture is that the congressman's website, his official biography, says simply that he was mobilized with his battalion in support of Operation Enduring Freedom, without any other details. Don't you think it's reasonable people might assume that means he served in Afghanistan? Perhaps, I guess. Okay. So it's been 5 years now, or I guess almost 5 years, that the congressman's official biography has said he served in Afghanistan. Okay. That's bad. That's misleading. That's a little bad. This right here, under current U.S. law, this could get the congressman probably thrown in jail in violation of the 2006 Stolen Valor Act, which says it is a crime, a federal crime, to portray yourself in writing or verbally as having received an award or decoration authorized by Congress that you didn't receive.
Yep, there it is.
Clearly claiming
that's what I was looking for.
In this picture,
lock him up. I mean, at what point? We can't have two different justice systems. It has to be across the board. And if we have laws, we have to enforce them. In newly obtained tape, then Representative Tim Walz tells a Gold Star family during a hearing on PTSD that he was deployed in Afghanistan in 2004 in support of Operation Enduring Freedom, and he and his troops suffering from mental health issues were shown the horse whisperer and told to go be nice. What the fuck?
And both of you, with your keen understanding of how this works, especially from National Guard families, I can tell you this, having been one of those that came back, we were in support of OEF, but sitting in there with OIF veterans, when we came back, they showed us the horse whisperer and told us to be nice when we went home. And that was the extent of it. That was in 2004. Now, I'm proud to say that because of the people sitting in here and people who came before me, things have changed over the last 4 years. They have not changed enough. But Mr. Kennedy is following and moving something forward that the late senator from Minnesota, Senator Wellstone, advocated so clearly, mental health parity, and this issue of destigmatizing mental health, of understanding. And I being in there and knowing as a first sergeant, know exactly what you're saying, and watching as people aren't trained on this, that there is there's a discrimination that goes against us.
I fucking hate his face. Hate your fucking face. I hate your fucking face. A masked cat ear wearing leftist throws a drink at the face of Top Ferox on the TPUSA event that she was asked after she was asked a question. Always resort to violence.
You have your own opinion. Just because. Hey!
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
You should not have done that.
You can't be a mole for them, bro. You have your own opinion. Just because. Hey!
Don't do that.
Should have ripped your mask off.
You should not have done that.
You should not have done that. I mean, I mean, I guess. But what even? What do we have here? Alex Jones says Jim Ferguson totally nails it in the post below. Zuckerberg caught selling out America to China. China.
So I want to just be clear about this. Here in this document, Facebook is talking about making Chinese user data available to the Chinese government because they're going to store that data in China. Is that correct?
Correct.
But when you store that data in China, Americans who exchange messages or other information with Chinese Facebook users, that would mean the Chinese government could get access to the American data as well. Is that correct?
Through the POP servers, potentially, yes.
And Facebook was willing to take that risk?
Yes, there was a lot of discussion about this, and ultimately, yes.
I mean, this is extraordinary. This is exactly contrary to what Facebook has represented for years. Here, they're willing to build data centers, store data in China. They are willing explicitly to give the Chinese government access to it. And if that means that American user data is also compromised, they're willing to do that too. All for profits in China. There was virtually... So I want to just be clear about this. Here in this document...
There you have it. I kind of hate that I'm on Facebook, to be honest. But we get a lot of traffic. I only post the show. That's all I do on there. I don't know. I don't know about anything anymore. Tucker Carlson and Alex Jones exposed $4 million DOJ plot to bankroll Sandy Hook lawsuit and bid to crush free speech with your taxpayer money.
We get another FBI contact. They say, why don't you go look at the Federal Register and look for money going to these Sandy Hook foundations of the people that sued me. We go look, it's $4 million plus in payments to them right after they sue me, and then 2 payments to them during when both trials started. So one
payments from whom?
From the Justice Department.
So tax dollars?
Tax dollars, over $4 million from the Justice Department, were paid to the main Sandy Hook foundation that is on the board and the head of it for the people suing me that ran it.
The first thing in countries that descend into darkness that happens is speech is controlled.
So yeah, this is a whole 45-minute video. Link in description. Got it. Here's the receipts. Chase Geyser posted. I'm going to share these and love them and bookmark them. Safe and Sound Sandy Hook Initiative. Obligation $612,662. Outlays $427,832.83. Safe and Sound Schools will continue and complete work with begun national policy. Grants. Paul Sandy Hook Foundation. The Tax Independent School District. Good job, Chase. He's the one that filed for the FOIA request. Al Green says, let's get it on. Says that America is in a countdown to impeachment. Yeah, okay.
Impeachment is imminent. The filing of articles of impeachment is imminent. We are currently in a countdown to impeachment.
There's a photo of him pointing a stick at Trump. That's why he did that.
I wouldn't say this if I were not going to move on with it. So I don't know what you have up your sleeve, but I do know that we will prevent you from having a third term. And the best way to do it is to not have you finish this term. And the best way to do this is to have you impeached and convicted and removed from office. It can be done. I'm telling you it can be done. The law says it can be done. We but only have to have the will to do it. The way is before us. The will is what is necessary to implement the way to an impeachment and a removal of Donald John Trump as President of the United States of America.
Dude looks like
impeachment is imminent.
Dollar store werewolf. He's an idiot. What is this? Elon Musk posted this.
What's really crazy to me is when people say the rich should pay more taxes. Okay, fine. But where do you think that's going? Where's that going? Where's the money going? Is the money going to the federal government? Do you think they're good at it? Do you think they're good at managing your money? Have you paid attention to all the shit Elon's fucking uncovered? 37% is when you make over $609,000 a year. That's you, motherfucker.
Yeah, well, that's me last month.
This is the thing. It's like, I'm happy to pay tax if I thought that they were doing a great job. But it's just you are being strong-armed into giving money to people that do a really shitty job of protecting your money and investing it in the country. It's a lot of it is going to bureaucracy and bullshit and a bunch of things that you don't have any say in. If you could like opt out of it, if you could like imagine if you like pick what you know, if you had like a whole tax sheet, would you like your money to go to? Would you like your money to go to overthrowing governments? No. Like, what if the federal government's budget was entirely based on the will of the people? Like, you get to choose. Like, how much of your money you want to put into drone strikes in Yemen? I say I don't want zero of my money going to that. What's really crazy to me is when people...
I think that sign behind him, I mean, that's like perfect. Like, whoever made that sign fucking nailed it. Bet that's actual neon, too. Recently disclosed body cam footage of J6 exonerates defendants and exposes massive perjury scandal by the Fed.
Welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the American Journal. I'm your host, Harrison Smith. Very happy to welcome my guest, Roger Roots. He's a constitutional attorney who's been fighting for justice for January 6 defendants. He's with us today to discuss his latest victory, where he forced the government to disclose withheld body cam footage that would both exonerate many January 6 defendants and prove that many Capitol Police and others committed perjury when they testified against the protesters there. You can find Mr. Roots' website, rootsjustice.com. That's rootsjustice.com. Roger Roots, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Harrison. Great to be here.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And I started getting calls yesterday from all sorts of people about this story saying, hey, man, this is urgent. This can't wait. We think the government may have made a mistake here. Just tell us what has happened, what the lawsuit is that led to the release of this info and what the government's done after this information was released and this body cam footage was released. Just break down this story for us, please.
Yeah, so I'll just set the stage. Of course, all these January 6 cases, there's some 1,600 cases. Most of them are closed. They are all finished with just a handful. So let me set the stage. We all know that President Trump pardoned everyone on Inauguration Day, January 20th. That pardon proclamation begins, first paragraph, saying, I hereby issue commutations of these 13 or 14 guys. And that was, you know, the group. Stuart Rhodes, mostly Oath Keepers and Proud Boys. Joe Biggs was on that list. So 13 or 14 names. Right. Then the second paragraph said, everyone else gets a full and complete pardon. All right. Then the third paragraph, which is very significant, says, I further direct my Attorney General to dismiss all pending cases, all other pending cases. I mean, it didn't say other. By the way, I argued that paragraph 3 applies to paragraph 1. So Biggs and those guys really should have their cases totally dismissed.
Right.
But anyway, that's a side issue. So in other words, let me just say all these January 6 cases are pretty much over with the exception of a few cases. And I'm an attorney in about 1 or 2 or 3 of those, one of which is the Ryan Zink case. Now, Ryan Zink, great guy from West Texas, wrongly prosecuted for January 6. So that case is still alive because it was on appeal. So the federal government, the Trump Justice Department filed motions to vacate in the appellate court, ordering the lower court, the district court, to dismiss the case. All right, so it lands in the district court, and guess who the district judge is? This is the same judge we've all been hearing about over the last couple of weeks, and that's Judge Boasberg, the same judge, of course, who's currently in the news for, you know, ordering Trump's flights to El Salvador to return. That same judge,
right,
Judge Boasberg, and he happened to be the judge in Ryan Zink's case. In fact, I was in Ryan Zink's trial where he was convicted wrongly of various January 6 charges. Anyways, so his case is still alive right now. So that gave us an opportunity to file a motion to lift the protective order. Now, let me set the stage for that. So at the beginning of every single January 6 prosecution, the government files a motion for protective order in every single case. And that is a motion that seals all the discovery from the public. So the public is not able to see all this body cam footage, all this surveillance camera footage. And by the way, it goes beyond that, even documents, FBI reports, etc. It's all sealed from the public, and it's all been kept from the public for 4 years in all these cases. However, so the Ryan Zink case allowed us to, file this motion to lift the protective order. Remember, the case is all but dead. It's heading for dismissal. But we filed this motion to lift the protective order, which was filed way back at the beginning of the case. And we argued in our motion, hey, the public has a right, a constitutional right to all this evidence. And by the way, remember, the Republicans in Congress have won. They campaigned on releasing this same stuff to the public. I mean, Speaker Johnson has campaigned and said he was going to release all this footage to the American people. So yesterday, I achieved something that the Republican Congress and Speaker Johnson has never achieved, which is the Judge Boasberg, again, granted our motion. So for about 4 hours yesterday, all afternoon, that motion was lifted, and the American people finally had access for about 4.5 hours to all that footage, all that evidence that the government has been concealing from the American people. And I can go on and on about what some of that stuff shows. And then at the end of the day, unfortunately, the government filed a motion to essentially set aside or stay or hold in abeyance the judge's order. And they didn't even oppose our motion at the beginning. So think about this. They didn't oppose it. The Judge Boasberg issues that order. And then at the end of the day yesterday, for some reason, don't know why, the government, this is the Trump Justice Department now, filed a motion to hold in abeyance the order lifting the protective order. And then last night at 5 o'clock, right before close of business, Judge Boasberg granted their motion. So for 4 hours, the American people had the right to see all the evidence of January 6th, and then it was closed shut at 5 o'clock yesterday.
So this is crazy. And this has happened a few times in the last few years, as we'll hear, okay, we're going to release all of the footage from January 6th, and some more footage would be released, or we'd get some different angles, and, that people would make documentaries about it or whatever. The Jacob Chansley footage came out and showed him being led around by the cops the entire time. So this would trickle out a little bit, bit by bit. But obviously the government is in possession of every body cam footage, every security cam footage from the Capitol. I mean, they have it all. They've just withheld it and haven't made it public. And then because of your emotion, and because I guess they just didn't understand what it was going to entail, they just didn't bother to stop it. And so they release all this footage. So how much footage was there, and what did the footage look like, and how was it contained? I mean, what was in this tranche that was released for those 4 hours?
Well, let me just say, there are hundreds of terabytes. This is more than any one person can view probably in a lifetime. I'm not kidding. So massive amounts of film. There's not a single person, not a single federal prosecutor, not a single defense lawyer has the time to view all this stuff. All right. So, you can imagine a single surveillance camera at the U.S. Capitol, all of that footage for, all afternoon, January 6, 2021. And there are just hundreds of those, and hundreds of police body cam, footage files, and lots of documents as well, police reports, documents of all kinds. And it's so sad because we defense lawyers are made to sign at the very beginning of these cases that we will sign on, that we will not share this stuff to the public. And some of it is even called highly classified, highly sensitive, where we're not even supposed to share it with the defendant himself in these cases unless the defendant is sitting next to us. It's ridiculous. And so that basically, let me just say, this discovery is in the form of websites. It's so massive that it's really two websites. One is called relativity.com. One is called, is it evidence.com? Evidence.com. And so these are two massive government websites, and we asked in our motion that the judge order the government to keep those open and maintained for the future, so the American people, the public, can have access and look at all that evidence. And remember, the Congress, the Republicans won the election in last November with these promises to make this available to the public. So they never have. I actually managed to make it happen for 4 hours.
So hundreds of terabytes of footage, basically from every body cam being worn by any officer on the Capitol, every security footage. So I mean, this is everything. This is every. I mean, you could watch, you know, the timeline of January 6th from 10,000 different angles, 10,000 different cameras, all running for hours. I mean, that is huge. So is that stuff available? I mean, what happens now that they put this abeyance in? Does that mean that this can't be released anymore? Is this going to be made available to researchers? I mean, what is the legal status of all of this evidence now?
Well, let's put it this way. As of 5 o'clock Eastern time last night, Judge Boasberg once again shut it down and issued an order which stayed or held in abeyance, he called it, the order that he had previously issued earlier in the day. So right now we're back to where we were before, where lawyers are not supposed to share this stuff. And by the way, again, I'll just say we don't even know. I don't even know, because no single person has the time to examine all this stuff. I can tell you that a lot of it is potentially bombshell, because let me just state some specifics. We all know there are these celebrity cops that have become celebrities after January 6th. One is Michael Fanone, who goes around on television constantly being interviewed. I believe he's testified falsely before the House, the so-called, that bogus committee, the January 6th
Select subcommittee, yeah.
And he remember, his story is he was knocked unconscious by January 6ers, had a concussion. They almost killed him. He barely escaped with his life. That's the story he goes around telling. His own body cam footage, which has never been released to the public, as far as I know, shows him laughing, joking. He's saying he's okay after that event. Medics are asking him, "Oh, you seem okay." They examine his eyes. He was absolutely very, cogent. And he, at one point, at the end of his body cam footage that day, he's joking with other cops. Other cops are joking about falsely saying that his gun was stolen by January 6ers. So they were joking about that. Here's this guy that goes around as this big celebrity, and he was joking around about essentially framing January 6ers. There's another cop that goes around. His name is Daniel Hodges, and he has falsely claimed in multiple places that, he was innocent. He totally didn't do anything wrong, and that these horrible January 6ers assaulted him, beat him up, everything. And let me just say, his own body cam footage and the footage around show that he was swinging his baton wildly. There were at least numerous January 6ers tried to stop him from swinging his baton. I happen to represent a guy named Patrick Montgomery out of Colorado, who was charged, tried, and convicted of assaulting Daniel Hodges. And Daniel Hodges came in at sentencing. He didn't show up at the trial, by the way. He never submitted a cross-examination, where we would have destroyed him, by the way. But at sentencing, this cop, Hodges, comes in and says he never falsely in front of a judge that he never swung his baton at anyone. That's just false, and the evidence would show that. That's just one example. Another one is Officer Harry Dunn of the Capitol Police, who has falsely testified at the Oath Keeper trial with Stuart Rhodes and all those guys, falsely claimed that Oath Keepers were basically confronting him, calling him names, even the N-word, I believe they said. He falsely said. And there was another guy, I believe his name was Lazarus, a government witness, I believe, Justice Department employee, falsely testified that he happened to see these evil Oath Keepers scaring Officer Dunn, cornering him in a corner. Those Oath Keepers actually were protecting Officer Dunn in reality. So just this massive amount of perjury that would be shown and that would be shown to the public, exposing all these people as liars. And they're just massive amounts of this. And remember, there are all these undercover informants that are there that the government has tried to conceal constantly. So that footage would also show many things the government doesn't want to show, and people who know would be able to say, hey, wait, that guy there is an employee for Homeland Security. That guy there's So that's the kind of footage that the government has concealed from the public all these years.
And, to me, as a layperson, this is an obvious violation of the Brady rule, right? I mean, you're not supposed to, you are compelled to, and you are.
Yeah, so I mean, this thing's 12 25 minutes long. Link in description. And I'll cover a couple more things here today before we wrap up for the week. Not sure how this isn't the #1 story in America right now.
My name is Sarah Wynne-Williams, and I served as the Director of Global Public Policy at Facebook, now Meta, for nearly 7 years, starting in 2011. Throughout those 7 years, I saw Meta executives repeatedly undermine U.S. national security and betray American values. They did these things in secret to win favor with Beijing and build an $18 billion business in China. We are engaged in a high-stakes AI arms race against China. And during my time at Meta, company executives lied about what they were doing with the Chinese Communist Party to employees, shareholders, Congress, and the American public. I sit before this committee today to set the record straight about these illegal and dangerous activities. Meta's dishonesty started with the betrayal of core American values. Mark Zuckerberg pledged himself a free speech champion. Yet I witnessed Meta work hand in glove with the Chinese Communist Party to construct and test custom-built censorship tools that silenced and censored their critics.
Boom, bloop. You know, I really don't miss TikTok. Just confronted Democrat Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett and asked why she's running around with taxpayer-funded security when she's the violent person who goes around physically attacking independent journalists.
Congresswoman Crockett, why are you running around with taxpayer-funded private security when you're the one who hit me first? Would you like to apologize for your actions, Congresswoman?
Proof of citizenship be required in order to vote? Congresswoman, should proof of citizenship
You should have been arrested. This is assault.
U.S. elections?
Again, we have to have the same justice for everybody.
You don't want to apologize, Congresswoman?
Got a cop with the neck tattoos like, you don't want to, bro.
Congresswoman Crockett, why are you running around with taxpayer-funded private...
It's fucking bullshit. House passes bill requiring proof of citizenship to vote. Good. Hillary Clinton posted, are you a woman who changed your name when you got married? Congress is considering a bill that could make it harder for you to vote. Go to the DMV and change your fucking name. Elon Musk breaks down what he has been saying for years. Ted Cruz, that is. Democrats are trying to tip the scales by allowing millions of illegals into the United States and hope that each one will be a future Democrat voter. It's true. More Jasmine Crockett.
Realm. So I am telling you that this is a failed thing, but we've got to do better to connect the dots and let people know the reason you can't afford a home is because of these failed immigration policies. The reason you're not going to be able to afford your food is because of these failed immigration policies. And the same can go for the hospitality industries.
You're dumb. You're dumb. You're so dumb. Oh my God. They stopped teaching our children years ago. You just didn't know it.
Take your children out to school. I'm a former educator of 24 years. They stopped teaching them years ago. You just didn't know.
Yes, that's true.
You just didn't know. Education went to hell years ago. They taught them compliance. They stopped teaching them to think. Analytical thought went out the window with state exams. Those state exams are just being used to track your children, to determine who's going to college, to train them to support this God-forsaken system, all the rest that's going elsewhere. They have pushed us into prison. I don't care how you look at it. If you're in corporate America, you're imprisoned by your lifestyle. If you're in the government, you're imprisoned by your job with good benefits. You understand? If you are on subsidy, you're imprisoned by their benefits. We have to get out their system, pull yourself out, pull your dollars out, and level violence.
I like her. What are we at? 9:19. We can go a little long today. That's okay. Syrian rapist in the Netherlands free to leave court after sentence reduced to 2.5 years on appeal. Death penalty. What do we got here?
State of Ohio versus Emily Nutley.
Emily Nutley went from the director of academic services at St. X High School to a convicted felon now facing prison time.
And how would you describe your work career? Long, successful.
Her 18-year career came to an end last year after she was indicted on sexual battery charges.
During her employment, specifically on November 19th and December 8th of 2023, she engaged in sexual conduct with a student of hers. The student was a 17-year-old male.
Today, for the first time publicly, Nutley admitted to the accusations.
Emily Nutley.
Did you engage in sexual conduct with a 17-year-old male on those 2 dates? Yes. Each of those are a felony in the 3rd degree. How do you plead as to those 2 counts?
Investigators say Nutley had been helping the teen with schoolwork, then began having contact with him outside of school hours. They say Nutley sent the teen nude photos and sexually explicit messages, then began to have a sexual relationship with the teen, both on and off school property. Today, Judge Jennifer Branch accepted Nutley's change of plea and convicted her of the 2 felonies.
Now, what really pisses me off about these kinds of cases is that you're going to have a lot of dudes and a lot of chicks being like, oh, lucky guy, this and that. It's like, nah, man, wood chipper. Pedophile's a pedophile, guy or girl, it doesn't matter. Scum. Tulsi Gabbard just announced at the cabinet meeting of her office that she obtained evidence of massive vulnerabilities on voting machines that allow hackers to flip votes. Yep, I mean, we need to go back to paper ballots. Finger ink prints and shit. Federal judge allows Trump to require illegal aliens to register in online database or face prison time and fines. Or just get the fuck out of the country. Just get the fuck out. Get the fuck out of the country. 2 males set to compete in women's division during USA Fencing Championship. Oh, God. Ugh. Those are dudes. HHS Secretary RFK Jr. says by September we will know what causes autism epidemic in the U.S. They already know. They're just slow rolling it. And yeah, you know, we were a little hard on RFK. Apparently, like, that wasn't even him in that office, but they're saying they're willing to look at it, and then what he's doing is they're going to look at it, and then because if he comes out and be like, absolutely not, no, he's going to get a lot more pushback of he's like, well, we did the research, and, you know, it's what you do. But, yeah, don't take the MMR shots. Don't take any shots. My body, my choice. HHS Secretary Robert Carey declares September, uncover autism. Yeah, cool. I'd play the video. Link in description. What do we got here? Department of Labor just revealed some shocking numbers on the fraud at the agency. 25,000 people who were over 115. Yeah, we got that. Yep. We may be dealing with an artificially engineered virus. Hungarian senior official says outbreak of foot and mouth disease in country may be a bioterrorism attack. Gross. Keep your foot out of your mouth, bro. There's a bunch of videos, but I'm tired, frankly. Trump White House responds to fire after Moonbat Senator Adam Schiff announces he will investigate them for insider trading. Look at this demon, dude. You'll never get a picture of me that looks like this. Ugh. I'm demanding answers from the White House and Office of Government Ethics about whether anyone in the Trump family or administration profited off of the tariff chaos through insider trading. Yes, FBI to arrest one Democrat. Turns out it's my lucky day. Tanya Fernandez Anderson, a woke BLM former illegal alien on the Boston City Council, has been arrested by the FBI and indicted on 5 counts of wire fraud. Let's watch.
What the do I have to do in this council in order to get respect as a black woman? What the...
Maybe watch your tone and your language. These people clearly have some kind of death wish. What do you mean these people? Shooting a rap video in his head. He's entertaining, I'll give him that. But I wouldn't hire him for a job. Oh shit. This guy's wild. What is And there's no fixing that. You can't rehabilitate this. To rehabilitate is to be habilitated in the first place. Look at this guy. Wow. That's something else. Pam Bondi announces no negotiations for Tesla terrorists facing at least 20 years in prison. Huge arrest coming in the next 24 hours. I hope that's true, Pam. You've let us down before. Don't let us down now. Because I want to see these little fucking Tesla takedown faggots spending 20 years in the clink. I mean, I want death penalties, but 20 years of rectal enlargement. Enjoy living with the sodomites. Justin Bieber is not looking so good. I'll be praying.
Money, 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 money. Money, get out of here, bro. Money. All you want, don't care about you. All you want is money. Go, get out of here. All you guys want is money. Money, 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 money. Money, money, money. Get out of here, bro. Okay. Get out of here, money. That's all you care about, money? That's all you care about, guys. It's money. You don't care about people. Only money. Only money. No people. You don't care about human beings. Go. Go. Go.
I mean, his fashion sense is awful. But he looks healthy, actually.
Money. Money.
I thought, when at first glance, I thought I was going to see a video of him, like, looking like he's on drugs, but really, he looks healthy. Good complexion. He doesn't look like the same person. It's just wild. That concludes today's DarkDox. And, oh yeah, I forgot from yesterday. Our buddy Tony, our quote guru in the DarkDox Network, posted for yesterday's episode Irony. A taste for irony has kept more hearts from breaking than a sense of humor, for it takes irony to appreciate the joke which is on oneself. That belongs in a fortune cookie. That's a pretty night, huh? Once more, let's turn off the display caption. Come back down to SeaWorlds. We're going to be in Sarasota, Florida on Monday morning. And I'll be back to do an episode Monday night, 8 p.m. So definitely check that out. It's going to be the Fauci take down. No, he's speaking at this Wiesel Performing Arts Center in Sarasota, Florida, and the protest starts at 8:30 in the morning, and then there's going to be a festival with speakers and music and all kinds of stuff at noon. So it's going to be fantastic. Come down to Sarasota on Monday. But yeah, I don't do these things on Friday or Saturday or Sunday. I come back on Monday. Sometimes I do special reports. It happens. But I need to make myself a little bit larger for Monday. It's too big. You're just too... Yeah, actually, that's pretty good. All right, well, that about does it. Anyone in the chat? Nope. Good. Good. Once more, this is Christian Coffin saying, beware, take care, have a good weekend.
Leading a frontal assault on the lies of the New World Order. It's Christian Coffin.
DarkDox, digest. DarkDox, digest. DarkDox, digest. DarkDox, digest. You can value this program, donate what you can, at CASH.APP/DarkDox.
Welcome to the April 10th, 2025 Thursday edition of DarkDox Digest with your host, Christian Coffin.
DarkDox. Digest.